For years, she's been framed as the disruptor, the complainer, the woman who dared to say no to a centuries-old institution. But a subtle, powerful shift is happening. The very boundaries that were once mocked as difficult or entitled are now being seen for what they always were: reasonable, modern, and profoundly human. And in drawing them so clearly, Meghan Markle isn't just protecting her family. She's winning the public argument. This is Royal Report 24/7, and we're tracking a pivotal change in the cultural weather. The narrative is turning. If you want to understand why the empathy is finally flowing in her direction, you need to see this. Subscribe and hit the bell. Meghan's boundaries have always hit nerve. They hit the nerve of tradition, of the way things have always been done. But now, they're hitting a different, more resonant nerve. The universal experience of anyone who has ever felt overstepped, manipulated, or gaslit in their own life. People aren't just watching a royal drama. They're seeing their own struggles reflected in hers. That let's examine the specific boundaries that are now garnering public support. 1. The privacy of parenthood. The refusal to trot newborn Archie out on the hospital steps. The fiercely protected childhoods of her children. The decision to keep their faces and voices largely private. Initially labeled as controlling or denying the public, this is now widely viewed as radically sane parenting in an age of digital oversharing and online toxicity. In a world of sharenting, her refusal to make her children content feels like a protective, admirable stance. People are taking her side because they understand the primal urge to shield the innocent. Point 2. The right to grieve and heal in private. Her clear withdrawal from the public eye during her difficult pregnancies and after the loss of her second child is now framed through a lens of profound empathy. The Megxit narrative of running away is being replaced, for many, with the understanding of a woman setting a non-negotiable condition for her mental and physical health. In a post-pandemic world that talks more openly about burnout and wellness, her self-preservation reads not as weakness, but as strength. Point 3. The rejection of the feed the beast media cycle. Her refusal to engage with the daily drip feed of palace gossip. Her decision to sue for privacy. Her creation of Archewell as a direct channel to the public. These were once seen as declarations of war on the press. Now, to a public increasingly distrustful of tabloid media and exhausted by online hate, they look like a legitimate defense strategy. People see a woman refusing to play a rigged game, and they respect it. Point 4. The control of her own narrative. The Oprah interview, the Netflix documentary, the Spare audiobook, while controversial, they achieved one undeniable thing. They gave her a voice. The criticism was that she was airing dirty laundry. The growing support comes from viewing it as a woman reclaiming authorship of her own life story from a machine that had relentlessly distorted it. In an era where people are encouraged to tell their truth, her megaphone, however jarring, is seen as a legitimate tool of empowerment. Why the shift now? The catalyst is context and contrast. The unrelenting, often vicious speculation about Catherine's whereabouts and health earlier this year served as a brutal object lesson. The public witnessed firsthand the grotesque cost of relentless media hunger and the absolute necessity of a family's right to private medical information. It made Meghan's earlier pleas for basic privacy seem not like a demand for special treatment, but a prophetic warning everyone should have heeded. People are taking her side because her boundaries are no longer seen as royal problems, but as human rights. The right to peace. The right to mental safety. The right to define your family on your own terms. She transitioned from a royal story to a universal story. The nerve she hit wasn't a royal one. It was a human one, and it's finally starting to heal in her favor. The tide of public sentiment is a powerful, mercurial force. At Royal Report 24/7, we chart its currents. This is the story of a narrative being reclaimed, not by force, but by the quiet, accumulating power of being proven right. To see where this rising tide takes the Sussex story next, you must stay with us. Subscribe now, signal your analysis with a like, share this perspective shift, and ring that bell. Sometimes the most radical act is simply saying no, and the world is finally listening. This is Royal Report 24/7.